Looking to get some duos in with a buddy when Gundam Evolution releases? Well, I have the video for you guys. I'm going to talk about 3 pairs of mobile suits that I think are really, really good to play when you can synergize with someone and when you can communicate with them. And I'm also going to explain how to play them so you guys get some information about what you should do if you choose to use these. So, I really like duoing in these sorts of games. I did it a lot in Overwatch. I think it's the best way to play in this game and in Overwatch. And it is actually what I did to get up to rank 17. I wanted a challenge. I didn't want to play with 6 people and get easy games. So I went and do it with a friend. So I have a lot of experience with this sort of stuff. And yeah, here are my 3 pairs. Starting off, we're going to cover Dom Trooper and Barbatos. Dom Trooper and Barbatos is to be played when you want to pop off as a Barbatos or when you want to help your buddy pop off. So if you don't have a good Barbatos player, maybe this isn't the best thing to do, but it's fun regardless. Basically what it is it's oriented around the way the armor gun works with Barbatos. You armor him, he gets 500 extra HP, runs in, and goes and frags out. So, and it's a little bit more complicated than that, but basically what this enables Barbatos to do is it changes breakpoints essentially. So in a situation where it was going to run in and get a kill and get out safely, it will now have full HP, meaning it can go right back in once its cooldowns are available again, which is going to take about 5 seconds. This means the uptime is increased. This means the chance and the time frame it can get a kill in is going to be in a burst of going in and then 5 seconds again really quickly. Really consistent. That's like 2 kills in about 10 seconds. Really, really useful if it's able to pop off properly. As opposed to it going in, it getting knocked down to low health and then having to disengage. And then not being able to get back into the fight for another like 20 seconds. So, huge difference. And the other breakpoint is in if the Barbatos gets seen before it goes in or goes a little bit hard. If it gets seen or goes too hard, it's going to probably die in normal situations. Like if it goes through like a lot of open ground or there's someone just listening and watching for it. If they're playing well and they're able to aim, there's a lot of things. It's hard to kill Barbatos. His character is insane. It really is broken. But the way that you deal with this, and the way the armor gun allows you to help this situation, is that the Barbatos won't die anymore, and it will be able to get out. So it goes too hard, but it still managed to get a kill and then has to disengage. So it's basically just like bumping it up like an extra level for free every single time you use the armor gun, and it's really, really useful. However, this doesn't just help Barbatos, because when Barbatos goes in and he's going crazy, everyone's freaking out. You know, the people on their team are like, kill the Barbatos, like get him. And in that time, they're available for you to push into them. I talked a lot about this in my Barbatos guide and then the other flanker guides. So watch those if you want to know more about this. But this enables you to push in as a Dom Trooper. And then when you push in, you can walk in, get a better chance to hit your rockets because they're projectile and projectiles are bad at range. You walk in, they're harder at range anyway. Walk in, get some frags in, and then get out. And everyone's happy and you climb and then you're having fun playing with your friend. So, additionally, you can also run little miniature dives when the Dom Trooper has its ultimate. Because then when the Dom Trooper has its ultimate, not only is the Barbatos able to go in, but so are you. And so you're ulting, you're giving additional armor to your friends. It's 300, I think, for the Barbatos. So if you pack him, and then you give him the ultimate armor, that's going to put him at a total of 1900 HP, I think. So it's just too much. And then you have you pushing in, running around with your little weird looking animation, just slamming into people. And it's basically like you're just diving and neither of you can die and you can just go kill everyone. So it's really, really powerful. Okay, moving on to my favorite, Sazabi and Metis. I'm a Sazabi player, that's my specialty, guys. So I had a lot of time doing this with one of my friends that I was playing with. And the thing that Sazabi is always oriented around is uptime. The problem with this game and the way that Sazabi works in it is that Sazabi doesn't have that much HP. Well, sorry, it doesn't have that much HP relative, but the problem is that it has a hard time recovering that HP. So it can not really like stage properly and get into good locations because it's going to get poked out. So it has to use its shield, which means it has to use a lot more of its resources earlier. If you have a Metis, you can bypass some of that. So it can pocket you a little bit as you get into position. You don't have to use your shield. It's not 100% of what you want to do. It's not the best even part of this, but it is viable. But the real thing that it lets you do is just constantly be in the fight. Because normally, when you have to wait for 2.5 seconds and then wait for your HP to slowly recover, which takes about 10 seconds, I believe, with the Metis, you're constantly able to be up in the fight. Other characters can run off and go get a health pack because they're faster, and also because when they go for a health pack, it puts them on a flank angle. Like a Zaku, for example, can flank and go get a health pack, and then go from a flank angle onto the back line of the enemy, which Sazabi can do, but doesn't really. It's not going to thrive doing that. And so for Sazabi, for you to run away or you to wait, you're just like having this period of you go in and you fight, and then you're low and you back up and you sit there, and you sit there, and you sit there, and then you're having to like hope you don't get poked and your HP recovery stops, or you can't use your shotgun, and you can't even use your tomahawk to fly away because that stops the health also. So having a Metis really, really, really helps that a lot. And the other most super powerful part about this is that having a Metis to pocket you means that the Metis can then give you its ultimate. The ultimate for Sazabi is probably the best character to use it on the game. Getting this boost from a Metis basically puts Sazabi at having like the power level of like a damage character in other games, while also actually having the tankiness of like a real tank. Because Sazabi has tankiness, but it's not like as tanky as something like and it's not as tanky as in other games, just because that's not how the game is designed. But it gives it that tankiness, so you can go really hard and you can go frag, and you know, when you turn blue, you're going in. And you go in and you're one-shotting things. You can one-shot you can do 700 damage with the headshot, and the damage boost increases 50%. So you can one-shot standard heroes, standard mobile suits. Sorry, I've been playing too much Overwatch. But you can one-shot them and you go crazy, and the Metis can come with you and heal you up also if you're not going super, super hard. And it's just really, really powerful. It'll allow you to like burst down another Sazabi. So you're winning the Sazabi duel, then you're just pressing forward, constantly winning. It's really, really good. The only character I would say for sure is better to give the boost to, but not even all situations, but a lot of times it can be better, is on a Pale Rider, because Pale Rider's ultimate is insane, and the damage output you can do is like literally insane. I forgot the exact numbers, but I think you can do about I think it's up to 4 times damage to the head with getting headshots and getting the nano boost. Not nano boost, I told you guys I'm too much Overwatch, but getting the boost onto the Pale Rider. So it's good, but Sazabi is still really, really good, and Sazabi is even competitive with that. Barbatos is also pretty good, but Sazabi is better, I would say, in general. So the last one I wanted to talk about here is also with Metis, but it's GM and Metis. So this might seem a little bit weird to you guys because you're like, hey man, there's 2 healing characters. They don't have very good like fragging capabilities. Like, why would you want to put all your eggs into this one basket? Well, that's not really a problem with GM, because as much as GM is a healing based character, it can also frag out, which I had a lot of fun doing when I was playing the game. A lot of fun just running around, just clicking on things and winning 1v1s versus like a Marise, because it can't do anything versus my shield and it just cries itself to the next match. But there's a lot more to this also in these sort of support duos, basically, and in other support games, like Overwatch and this game in general. Supports that are good support each other. The higher you see players go in like a game like Overwatch, the more you're going to see them holding onto their cooldown. For example, in a pairing of something like Ana and Brigitte, for those of you know, which I assume is most of you guys, and if not, it's still relevant. But they're saving their cooldowns to support each other. If the Brigitte knows that they can be dove, the Brigitte is holding a pack to heal her Ana, and then the Ana is holding the nade to heal themselves and boost the healing and heal the Brigitte. So that's what you do. You hold your cooldowns, but what they really, 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 really do is stay together and they support each other. There is like a spike in damage in a lot of fights, especially ones where there's like a diver in the game. And so you have your supports and they're hanging out, and then like the divers will come and like, and they'll hit them. And if they have each other to support each other, they'll survive it frequently. But if they don't, they'll get picked off. And obviously that's not good. But the thing about even more than that is, as soon as that dive has been survived, that is when GM thrives, and that's when supports thrive, because now they're not under any real threat, and that's when they're able to push forward. The enemy's gonna be low cooldowns, they're gonna be backing up, doing whatever, and that's when GM just hits the gas and presses forward, and GM can actually just go fully carry games. So it's really useful to have these two together. And I don't know if I explained it that well. Basically, like, if you keep your two supports up, if the other support keeps you up and you keep the other support up, which is you and your buddy, because you can communicate and be like, hey man, there's a Zaku on me, like, help me. If you can do that, unless your tanks and your damage characters feed their absolute brains out, so unless the rest of the team feeds their brains out, or they get like a really good ult combo against them or something, you will win the game. That's just how it goes. This becomes the bare minimum of gameplay. Like the high ranks, supports constantly support each other. If they don't get to that high of a rank. Yeah, so that's why you can play GM and Metis, because you get to have that support potential for each other, but then you also have this ability to go frag out, which is mainly towards GM. You can even do things like nanoing a GM if you want to, or nanoing something else if there's a better person on your team. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. If you like what you're listening to, then make sure to give a like and a subscribe to the channel. Thanks, guys. Make sure to check out my other videos too. I got lots of other Gundam Evolution content.